Doug Zaleski Show. Follow Doug on Twitter at Doug Zaleski.
We're back on Muncie Sports Station, 102.9 FM, 1340 AM, WXFN.com, and the Facebook fan page, like Muncie Sports Station. And it's time now for edition number 1 of the Zaleski Football Challenge. And my two sons, Jason and Jamie, will be competing with me again this year like they did last year. And just as a reminder, I did win the championship. I was the only one who finished with a profit last year. We have Jason with us this year. You ready to battle a little harder than last year?
Hey, last year, man, that's old news. That's newspaper talk. We're talking about right now. We're talking about today.
Well, keep that attitude up. Just to refresh on how we do this, we each start with a $1,000 mythical bankroll. We make 3 picks against the spread on individual games each week, and each of us picks a 3-team parlay. And we bet $25 on each of those individual games and $25 on the parlay. And you can double one of your bets. So you can make your parlay worth $50. You can make one of your individual games worth $50. And we track it through the year. So if you were with me last year, you made a profit. If you were with Jason or Jamie, you came out in the red. So I would suggest you boys bring it this year. Have you discussed this between yourselves about any way to take down Dad this year?
You know, I talk to Jamie about a number of things every now and then. Usually it's just to scam money out of him. I certainly don't go to Jamie for any advice on sports, though.
Well, he is again, and he'll be with us next week, but he is again picking the Tennessee Titans to win the Super Bowl. So he's convinced his Titans are going to do it. As people probably remember, you're a Dallas Cowboys apologist, a Zeke Elliott apologist, and I don't suppose any of that has changed either. So good luck to you and your brother. You're going to need it because I feel pretty good about my picks here in week 1. I will say this, week 1 is a tricky week for just picking winners straight up, let alone against the spread. Any thoughts that you had on this week?
Well, yeah, I agree. It's a season anew. Everybody starts at 0-0, except for the New England Patriots, who lost last night. Yours truly, I did have that game right offline. We took the Chiefs +9, and hail to the Chiefs. And then a quick note on Jamie. I know he's probably listening right now. You owe me $40, so let's get that money over here.
Well, that's between you. I can't broker any of that, so that's between you two.
All right.
Let's go. We'll go with Jamie's picks first. Again, as I said, we're starting with a mythical $1,000 bankroll. His 3 individual games. The first one, right out of the chute, going to surprise no one. The Titans -2 over the Oakland Raiders. He also likes the Arizona Cardinals -1.5 against the Lions. And he likes the Jets, the lowly New York Jets, the team everybody's picking is the worst in the NFL this year. He likes them getting 8 points against the Bills on the road. So those are his 3 individuals.
Yeah, and 2 road games there, too. The Lions are at home. He's taking the road Cardinals there. That's a tricky one, too.
He's taking 2 road teams, and then he's sticking with his Titans. His parlay, he's going all over-under numbers, and we get our point spreads and our numbers from the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook, and he likes point spreads for all of his parlay picks. So he point totals. So he sees the Packers and Seahawks under 50.5. He sees the Colts and Rams under 41.5. And he picks the 49ers and Panthers under 48. So clearly he's banking on defense outplaying offense in week 1.
Well, the under was a loser last night. I think, Colts probably a low-scoring outfit this year, so he may have that one right. Seahawks-Packers, that could get into quite a Donnybrook, and that may those points might explode in that late afternoon game on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that strategy goes. As you know, he tends to not stick with strategies very long if they are not fruitful. So we'll see how long he sticks with picking over/under numbers. Your picks. Give me your 3 individual games that you like.
All right, well, my three individual games are these. I like the Falcons on the road at the Bears. Falcons averaged 415 yards per game last year, and the Bears will have nothing to say about that. So Falcons -7 on the road. They will get the job done there. Redskins at home against the Eagles. Redskins an underdog, inexplicably an underdog in that game. Eagles only averaged 220 yards passing last year. Carson Wentz was the passing quarterback for the Eagles, and so 220 yards, not quite enough. I would also expect Ryan Kerrigan to get in on the action, probably have a sack and a few tackles. He'll get after the slow-footed Wentz. So I'll take the Redskins +1 at home. And then the Bengals home team, -3. I'll take the Bengals and the Red Rifle to clean up on the Ravens.
That's a dangerous game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Those AFC North teams are hard to figure out.
Well, they are, and I know you have some Bengals folks in your listening audience, and they should have been better last year, and they're going to have the same ups and downs this year. Fortunately for the Bengals, the Ravens are also not very good.
Okay. Your three-team parlay, and you're doubling up on this. This is a $50 parlay for you, so you can win $300. Who do you like in your parlay?
All right, so we're going Vikings at home on Monday Night Football, 3.5-point favorites against the Saints. I like the Vikings and their defense to stop the Saints. Saints are missing some players from last year, Brandon Cooks in particular, so they will be slowed up quite a bit by the Vikings. So we'll take the Vikings -3.5 at home. Broncos -3.5 at home versus the Chargers. Again, much like the Vikings, the Bronco defense is tough to beat, and the Chargers will have a very frustrating night. That's the late Monday night game, so I like the two Monday night games and the two home teams for those. And then let's stay in prime time with the game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys again host the...
Cowboys apologist in the house.
Cowboys again get the game of the week to open up the NFL season. There is no doubt about who the best team in the NFL is, and America's team still reigns in Dallas. And the Cowboys -4 against the Giants. I'm taking the Cowboys 33, Giants 13. Double it up.
So, little Zeke, the woman beater, is he going to be in the lineup?
It's a false title. It's a false title.
He's ready to go.
He is ready to go.
He got to take out some of his aggression on the Giants.
140 yards worth. He'll be ready to go.
Good for him. All right, this is where I'm going to drop some knowledge on you and your brother. I'm looking over your picks. You picked 6 teams between your parlay and your 3 individual games. You have 5 favorites among those six teams.
Yep.
Jamie has picked 3 individual games. He has 2 favorites among his 3 individual games. The first week of the NFL season historically is wacky. Teams that should have no business winning, win. Look at the Chiefs last night. Who expected them to win the game?
I'll show you proof. I had them last night.
Well, you had them with the point.
Well, of course.
I don't know that you expected them to win. If you did, you're the only person in America outside of
Andy Reid,
Western Missouri, who expected them to win. So I think you guys made a big, huge mistake right out of the gate here by going with all these favorites. So that's my knowledge for you this week. Here are my picks. My individual games, all of them worth $25. I, like you, like the Redskins, getting 1 point at home against the Eagles. Basically, all the Redskins have to do is win the game to cover that one. I like the Lions at home, getting 1.5 points over the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are a very good road team. I think they're perceived as the better team in this game. But I like the Lions in that spot. They're usually pretty good at home. They're getting 1.5 points. Again, win the game, covered.
I'm with you on the Lions.
I like the Saints getting 3.5 points against the Vikings. The Saints still have Mr. Drew Brees, prolific passer. Their offense is still pretty good, even though they've lost some components in their receiver core. And their defense, I don't know if it's good enough yet, but I think the Saints go on the road and steal one from the Vikings, who I think the Vikings think they're pretty good this year. We'll find out right away here. So I like 3 underdogs right there.
And then just back to the Saints real quick. Fan of the show, I'm sure, and a friend of yours, Willie Snead, missing from that game.
Willie Snead is missing from that game. That's a valuable piece of property that Drew Brees is missing, but I think Drew Brees overcomes that.
Okay.
My three-team parlay, I go with one underdog. I'm taking the Raiders +2 over Jamie's Tennessee Titans. Raiders on the road, not an easy spot because I think the Titans are pretty decent this year. I do think the Titans will win the AFC South. But last year I thought the Raiders were good enough to go to the Super Bowl. They're pretty much back. I like them in this spot in the first game of the year.
I'm with you there.
I'm also going with two favorites in my parlay. I like the Broncos at home as a 3.5-point favorite over the San Diego LA Chargers. And my third team, and I can't believe both of you guys missed this one. I've got the Texans at home -5.5 against the Jaguars. All that's going on in Houston is going to be a very emotional game. Football tends to heal a lot of sorrow and sadness, and I think what we're going to see there is maybe a lot like we saw in New Orleans 10 years ago when Katrina hit there, forced the Saints out of town. They came back, very emotional homecoming, and bam, they blew somebody out of the building on that first night. I think the same thing is going to happen with the Texans here.
The Saints, the game you're referring to, they blew out the Falcons. They had a block punt return for a touchdown. They had a kickoff return for a touchdown. I like your thought on the folks in Houston. Of course, our thoughts and prayers are with them. I stayed away, though, for that same reason.
Okay, well, I think it's going to be a very emotional night. Mr. J.J. Watt might get 12 sacks in that game against the Jaguars.
Wow.
So that's who I like.
Okay.
So good luck. It looks like both of you are going to need it in week one. As I said, you guys took too many favorites. I don't see that many favorites covering in week one.
I don't believe in luck. I believe in pure skill. Here we go. 2017 NFL season is here.
Okay, say hi to Jerry Jones for me.
Done.